So yeah, I mean, I really liked that game. I thought it was good. I liked it.
I like trains.
You motherfucker. So hello everybody, welcome back to the Nerdening. I'm Ollamh.
I'm Outlander from the American Machine.
And we were talking about technology and how far things have really come.
It's interesting because, like, we're not necessarily old, but we're old enough to have seen the broad arc of the technology that has happened in the last 3 decades.
So, he says we're not really old. As far, let's face it, as far as YouTube goes, I'm definitely old. I'm 37.
I'm 34, just...
So as far as YouTube goes, yes, we are on the older side. It is kind of a young man's game.
So, sit back and this will be fun.
Now, you have mentioned a certain piece of archaic technology a few different times, and that's the Laserdisc.
Yes, Laserdisc. I've actually, if you've watched the other videos, then yeah, I mentioned it a couple of times.
If you're a good viewer, you have seen these already.
Laserdisc. My mother and father knew the people who opened the Laserdisc store in my hometown. And it was interesting because that was when I saw my first projection screen TV and everything. And Laserdiscs, if you don't know, if you haven't Googled it yet, it's a record-sized DVD. It is, and here's the thing, it's a record-sized DVD, and the compression technology kind of sucked at the time by comparison to now. So, if you wanted to watch an hour-and-a-half long movie like Mel Gibson and Goldie Hawn and Bird on a Wire, it was 2 discs. You had 1, 2, and then sides, and then a third disc to get the end of the movie. You would have to stop 20, 30 minutes in, flip the disc over until they came out with the automatic disc flipping ones.
Oh, that was just amazing.
Oh man, the way technology moved. I have the director's cut of Aliens on Laserdisc, and it is 4 discs. Now, a lot of people don't, and here's the thing, it's like, people get 4 discs all the time now with, like, their digital download and their special features and their trailer release or whatever, all that jazz. None of that. It was just the movie and some cool stills.
Now, an interesting point as far as from a gaming aspect of it, the Laserdisc actually helped arcade games come along quite a ways, too. Back in the early 80s, most arcade games were pixel-based. Everything was pixels. Now, there was an ex-Disney animator that decided to talk to his friend who was producing games and said, hey, why don't I draw everything for you? I'll draw out the characters and everything. This was groundbreaking. This was amazing. And because of the amount of data, they had to put it on a Laserdisc. And this was Dragon's Lair, which was an amazing game and groundbreaking in several different points, really.
I don't know if I think of Dragon's Lair.
You play some games, QuickTime events where you have to push X at a certain time or
press X not to die.
Yes, you press X now and then, a random button next and stuff like that. That actually has its origins from Dragon's Lair because it was basically just hey, here is, you walk into this room and now lava's coming in from the left, so you have to pull the joystick to the right at just the right time to escape. And that was really the first game, I think, that used that idea of just, push a button or move the joystick at the right time to progress. And that eventually became QuickTime events that you see in the most modern of games, even now. Now, talking about home technology, let's pull out some visual aids.
We're going way back here.
This, ladies and gentlemen, is an Atari 5200.
I've never actually played one of these.
One of the interesting things with the Atari was it actually had Mario Brothers. Not Super Mario Brothers, but Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
It was...
Before they were Italian.
I think they were Italian at that point. It was Donkey Kong before he was Italian. Then he was just known as Jumpman.
Oh, okay.
This was... Mario Brothers actually introduced Luigi as well.
Mm.
Now, one of the interesting things with this is anybody who has played the new Smash Bros. May recognize one of the special maps, which is just kind of a sewer, basically, where you hit the floor from below to knock the turtles over, and then you have to run up and kick the turtles, and there's this big POW button in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
That is Mario Brothers.
I remember that game. I played that. I remember playing that before we had a Nintendo Entertainment System at home. Which that was like the big bonding moment for my dad and I. We got a Nintendo. I think it cost $180 or something. Yeah.
Hi, Outlander.
What? Ivan Iron Man Stewart's Super Off-Road. I remember that game.
Yes, that was actually one that I did for Throwback Thursdays a while back.
No, my father and I we bonded over this in a way that it was hard. It was hard not to do. Because you couldn't save your Mario Brothers game. When Zelda came out, that was the first time that we experienced being able to save our progress, and there were only 3 slots. So it was Mom, Dad, Owen. And those 3 little, links that were on the screen there.
Now, from old technology, let's talk about more modern technology and how it's drastically changing the world even now within the past 10 to 15 years.
I remember my very first cell phone. It was one of those Verizon or Sprint cell phones, and it had a green screen and no games, and it was like a glorified calculator. It wasn't even a flip phone. It was a stick phone.
Well, no, the Motorola, the original Motorola brick, that when they got away from the bags, it had the little flip down piece, but I mean, it just had a little bar for numbers. That was it.
Mm-hmm.
Little bar for numbers. I think the original price plan, you got 10 minutes a month, and it was $1.25 for each additional minute.
Something, and like, what was that?
And I think it was
87, 89.
Oh no, it was later than that. Those phones were actually early mid 90s.
Okay.
My brother had one when I was graduating in 96. Now, an interesting point as far as cell phones and how they are changing our world beyond just the ability for me to call Outlander here and say, hey, we're recording today. We have a friend who works for a big internet company, and they got free iPhones, and they got, the iPhones were free. They gave them to their employees. They gave them, the company paid for the data plan, the minute plan,
everything.
whole 9 yards. And the reason they did this is specifically so that there was no excuse for our friend to not answer his emails. If something came up Friday after he got off work and he was out at the bar at 9 o'clock at night and he didn't come into work until Monday the next morning, they could send him an email. They could send everybody an email and say, hey, this is a problem. We need to take care of it. Everybody needs to be in the office at 10 o'clock Saturday morning.
It's a short leash.
Now, as some of you know, we do YouTube.
Doing YouTube for videos has changed the way that people talk. Like, do you know us? We're somewhere in the world. We're anywhere in the world right now shooting this video, and you are anybody else anywhere in the world watching it.
Now, an interesting point with this is the fact that we have to kind of combine this with the advancement of recording equipment. But, for example, it means that movies and TV shows really have to step up their game. Because let's face it, how many of you have seen The Guild? That was recorded... Yeah, that was recorded on just a single camera originally and put up on YouTube. it was, at the time, it was actually a lot better than a lot of the TV shows that were being broadcast and had been for 3 seasons.
Well, that and a few other things. Like, I remember Red vs. Blue. It was just,
it's still going.
It's still going, and they get their own channel and everything. But that was at a time when people were figuring out, hey, you know what? It would seem that I can write better than NBC.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna.
So a lot of the, you have to, you don't, and one of the beautiful things with YouTube is the fact that you don't have to go through the same BS process. You don't have to say, hey, we're going to pitch you this idea. And
it's really cool.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, okay, well, you like the idea. Okay, so you're going to give us the money to make a pilot.
It's going to be really cool.
We make the pilot. Do you like it or don't you? Okay, hey, okay, cool. You like it enough. It tests well enough. We get a first season that's usually half as long as a regular season.
And that could be like $250,000 to go through that entire process with an official producing company or anything like that. But here we are with cameras in a basement.
Yeah. We're sitting here basically in my living room in front of a green screen, and we can talk about...
Are you entertained?
I hope so. I hope you guys are entertained. But that really kind of says, hey, your writing has to be good. And also, this kind of combines in with Netflix a little bit. As far as the
Netflix is teaching the world, I feel like Netflix is teaching the market what people need. And Kevin Spacey had an incredible speech that he gave as a commencement speech or whatever at a school or a meeting in London. And it was after the first season of House of Cards came out. And he talked about how people want story. People want quality. People are tired of being fed the same story over and over again.
Well, even if it is the same story over and over again, the big thing with Netflix and to a certain and very much to the same extent YouTube is you're not tied to your couch.
Yeah, you can do it anywhere now. Thank you, technology.
You can do it anywhere. You can do it anywhen. But all of a sudden, you have Daredevil, which has so much more potential and so much more freedom than, say, Flash or Arrow.
Yeah.
Simply because you have the full season done. That first season is done. It's already available on Netflix.
Daredevil was really good. I was really pleased with it. You should watch it.
But the biggest thing is it's not competing. It's not competing against Flash. Yeah. It's not competing against
Screw
Arrow.
all that.
You don't have
Let
to
them
say
sweat it.
What am I going to watch at 7:00 on a Tuesday night? I mean, that's actually one of the questions that a lot of people, if you've seen this channel, you know that I do a lot of Let's Plays on it. A lot of people ask Let's Players, well, how do you feel about this person getting this, doing this well and this person doing this? And it's like, great. A lot of people have the feeling that, that anybody who watches one Let's Player shouldn't watch another. And it's like, that's not the case. You can watch all of Markiplier, you can watch the 2 videos Markiplier puts up today, the 2 that Jacksepticeye puts up today, and the 2 that I put up today. You can watch all 6 of those in an hour and a half. About an hour and a half. And you don't have to pick one favorite. And that's what I love about YouTube, is it gives people the chance to collaborate.
Well, and I like that, a place like YouTube, which is really just reflective of the internet as a whole, is that, I can find somebody I like until I find reasons I don't like them so much. Maybe, or I don't find them as informative or entertaining or anything else, and then I can go find somebody else, and they're out there, and they put all the new Bill Nye, or they put all the original Bill Nye on Netflix. You should watch that too.
Now, one of the good things about YouTube, though, is you don't have to do that. You don't have to watch somebody until you don't like them anymore and then move on, because guess what? You have a direct link to contacting that person. If you like something that we're doing right now, and you want us to cover a specific topic, you can send us a message on YouTube, on Twitter, on Tumblr, on Facebook, on Dasher, on Dance. No, wait. Shit.
Not that kind of party.
Right. Sorry. But you can send us a message on any of these different different websites and let us know that, hey, we really like it when you talk about movies. We really like it when you talk about television series. We really like it when you talk about technology and
we're here for you, man.
Yeah, stuff that was around before we were born. Hey, we can do that. You can let us know what we can do, and it's not going to take, it's not going to be until next season that you have to.
Do you
worry
like
about.
my hat? Would you like me more if I didn't wear a hat? Whatever.
So that's some of the technology and some of the things that we're looking at, and who knows where things are going to go from here.
Well, I like thinking about where it will go, though. Like, I imagine little nanotech factories being rocketed off of a rail launcher on the surface of the moon that are being shot off on a regular basis to every reach of the galaxy, and when they get wherever they're going, if they manage to get there, then they will make a thing that sends a signal back and tells us about where it landed.
Anyway, what do you think about some of the technology that we've brought up today, and some of the technology that we're talking about, and what do you like about where the technology is, where it came from, and where do you think it's going to go?
I have a specific question I would like you to answer in the comments below, which is, imagine any piece of technology. The internet, your cell phone, your television, your whatever. Comment down below what your life would be like without that.
Thank you very much for watching, and stay tuned for more from Ollamh Production
and the American Machine. Thanks for watching.